The world we live in is utterly disgusting, and to be honest, I question why at times I fight so hard to save it. But as a good friend once told me, you can either build the world you want or destroy the one you hate. I decided to take the first of the latter and build a better one. And I'm going to be building with a lot of young people, but it's important that we remember the older people who are standing and sticking with us in this fight. And I'm here to introduce you to the third coming because we're still waiting on Jesus. But until he gets here, we're going to count on my boy from Philly, the district attorney, Krasner.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
What makes Krasner so cool besides the fact that he's a civil rights activist? He was born in 1961 in St. Louis. His dad is a Russian Jew. He went to school in the Shire. He got his law degree from Stanford. He's an all-around great guy. As being part of the civil rights activist movement definitely paints a big target on your back, especially when you're running for political change. There's one place that really is looking for political change. This one place is definitely Philly. And Meek Mills was the most excited individual when they decided to elect Mr. Krasner, because Mr. Krasner has a firm belief of no mass incarceration. And he wasn't when he said this. Meek Mills is out here celebrating. Yo, Meek, tell him how you feel.
Look, I got homies in the ground.
In the first week of him being in office, he fired 31 prosecutors who just was not cut out to beat or meet his new agenda, which is no mass incarceration. And along with those 31 individuals being fired, he also threw out over 300 cases that didn't have merits for real crime. Petty drug charges that had to do with weed, he was not interested in. And he wasn't interested about amount or weight. He didn't believe that weed should be a drug that they are actively prosecuting. And don't get me wrong, he didn't stop there. Women for sex crimes, if they didn't have any felony charges, he wanted them released immediately. Because he didn't feel that women who are selling their bodies to make ends meet should be subjected to another crime. The society which they have to feed on is still letting them down. It's almost to say as if he understands that poor people are not in a position to actually do something positive for themselves in this world.
Wow.
That is what makes him so different. He understands that by incarcerating the people, he cannot make this community better, because the people feed the community. And if they're not there, the community will become empty, will become barren, will become nothingness. And when you have sucked the life and soul out of a community, you then leave it open for violence. And there's examples all around the world.
Hey, listen!
And while I could sit here and brag on my mans for hours upon hours, it's very important for us to take a very close look at what this district attorney is doing. Mr. Krasner's ideas aren't that far-fetched and aren't that far-reaching, and even might have an effect on other communities and district attorneys throughout the country, as it is painfully clear that a community that's being taken advantage of all the way down to the bone is a community that will become hostile and use any means necessary to survive. He doesn't believe in prosecuting the weak and powerless. He's more concerned with taking care of crimes that actually do matter. And don't get me wrong, he has made it very clear that he doesn't plan to go polite or light on individuals that commit heinous crimes and perform heinous activities. But for us to sit here as a community and believe that putting people who smoke weed in jail is justifiable is wrong. Because they aren't inflicting any damage or any pain onto anyone except for themselves, if you want to believe that. As we found out that this magical plant can help revert, stop, or even cure some of the world's most puzzling diseases. And as I sit here as a healthcare provider trying to tell you to make better decisions on your own life, it'd be pointless for me to sit here and believe that Mr. Krasner is not going to do a wealth of great things with his newfound position of power. While it's too early for me to put a label on Mr. Krasner's ethics and role in his newfound position, it is very clear that he's hit the mother running and he's not messing around. I would like to see and follow this individual throughout his career so I can better gauge what he's really all about and what he's really up to. As it's still yet to be seen, there isn't a smidgen on his record, but you best believe, just like Mr. Jesus Christ, people found a way to hate him, and they're definitely going to find a way to hate Mr. Krasner. As it's been proven time and time again, when you mess with people's money, people start to mess with you. And Mr. Krasner is definitely messing with the private prison sector. In this local district, there are a significant amount of private prisons that don't run unless there are prisoners in there. And what will they do when they realize they can no longer mass incarcerate like they used to? This is going to be a very interesting predicament, especially given with the certain idiot we have in office right now. It's going to be very important for us to watch and encourage the new district attorney of Philly to continue to push forward in this positive light, as his change could lead a massive revolution of good. And we could all use some good news these days, because we have a lot to be worried about.
And here we go.
I got some advice for y'all. Being good feels good. And there's no other feeling that can give you that satisfaction, that reward of doing something good. And that in there lies the sole difference for a lot of people. It might be different for you, but for me, that's what it's all about. There's no way to really describe it, and there's only one way to find it. So I hope you find it. I'm happy to see a lot more people find it.